Crossing cultures, making changes, in new ranges, crossing cultures. Crossing cultures, crossing paths, making change.
Welcome everyone, this is the first episode of Crossing Cultures. My name is Keisha John. I am based in Qatar and I'm going to be sharing a series of episodes of expats living here in Qatar, talking about their journey, their story, why they moved here. And my first guest is Rhoda Fisher, so my very good friend. Rhoda, welcome to my first podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite. That's brilliant.
You're
well
welcome.
Done. And congratulations on your beginning and inaugural podcast.
Thank you.
Crossing Cultures.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I've known you for several years. Where did we meet?
2009.
Yes.
Yeah, 2009, January 2009. Yeah, we were in one of the halls, and it started the new year off. Not necessarily the academic year, but it was the beginning of the new year. And you were in the hall, and we were all lined up at the side there, and they were introducing everybody. But that's when I saw you.
And that was a school based in Brixton.
Yeah.
So obviously you're based in Qatar now, and you were working in the UK before. So what was it like working in the UK?
Working in the schools in the UK, I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved it. I loved the students, loved the kids, loved them like my own. I had a brilliant time with them. How was it working in the UK? It was quite a challenging learning curve, because I had come in as an unqualified teacher. I came in as a workshop leader, really, just to kind of fill in the gaps at school, and then became a form tutor, and then a teacher, and then went into doing training for teaching as well, leading art as well, leading lessons, and trying to get as much training as I could. And it was a challenge. It was a real challenge because the school was such a challenge.
Yeah.
Teachers kept leaving, especially the art teachers. They just kept leaving, so it was just left with us.
Yeah.
And then they would bring in other teachers, and then they would just go, and it would be just left with us again. And so, I found it really challenging. But then it started to get into this groove.
Yeah.
I think in the last 3 years, we started to get into this groove where we knew what we were doing, and we planned, and we really just we relied on each other quite a lot.
100%.
Yeah, and that we had each other's back literally, and we had a brilliant head of department as well that supported us in our training and learning and things like that. So so it was challenging, but the learning curve was really steep, and I felt that we did really well.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge, but it was an experience.
It was
well.
fun. It was the toughest experience ever. But it was like boot camp.
Yeah.
I think that once we finished that, a transition from that school, you put us anywhere and we can survive.
We can survive.
We can survive anywhere.
We can survive and discipline a child with a look. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, we've got that on lockdown. Definitely. 100%. What do you miss about teaching in the UK?
It's not necessarily that I miss the banter with the students. I mean, I was teaching in a school that was predominantly Caribbean, and so I could easily use my Caribbean accent. And kids notice the difference between speaking in your normal London accent and then changing to a Caribbean accent. They knew the difference. I mean, I just missed the school because there was such camaraderie, because we were all in the trenches together. We were all working hard. So I think that's what I really miss. I had some really nice relationships with some of the students, really nice, because we knew them from year 7 going up. But I think what I definitely miss is maybe the camaraderie with the teachers, that, especially those that started at the beginning. We were really working hard.
Yeah, there was a lot of NQTs there.
We all were just pulling together, and became this really strong body of teachers together. And we knew what we were doing.
And we knew the kids.
We knew the kids.
We knew the student inside out.
Yeah, so
I
it
miss
does,
that.
yeah.
I definitely do miss
Yeah,
that.
I
And I definitely miss
miss
the
it.
culture of it as well.
I miss
Yeah.
the Caribbean culture.
Yeah.
And that I thought that was just brilliant. I mean, you could just go around the corner and get a
Yeah.
dumpling when you need it,
Yeah.
you know, and that for breakfast, you know.
Especially like when you're just communicating with the parents.
Yeah,
You know, there's a
yeah.
sense of familiarity that because of the
exactly,
culture.
exactly.
connection,
I mean, I remember a lot of the parents saying, you know, when they come to school, they're your children,
Yes.
you know, and that really worked. I mean, there was one girl, I can't remember her name, but I honestly felt like she was like literally my daughter. I can't understand that. I can't remember her name, but I remember having an argument with her, and I was saying to her, if I was your mother, I wouldn't, and she goes, I wish you were my mother. And that just stopped our argument, and I had to walk out. I was so upset. Not upset, bad upset, but upset like, oh my God, that's what she feels about me. And I thought, gosh,
I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
I think
and
I know
that, and we had such an argument. I absolutely loved her.
Yeah.
But she was so naughty.
Yeah. I remember her, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But she was
So naughty.
Yeah.
She was a run and drop and all of this business, and oh my.
So I remember when you said that you were going to Qatar, and I was like, where is that? I'd never heard of Qatar in my life. So what made you choose Qatar of all of the Middle East and Gulf countries?
What happened is when I definitely knew I wanted to work abroad, I went to one of the conferences that was encouraging everybody to teach abroad, and they said, don't just look at the Emirates, look at the other regions. And I was like, well, I don't really know. I know about Kuwait, heard about Kuwait, and I've heard about the UAE. I haven't heard anything about others. And they were saying, have a look, keep your eye out and have a look at others, because they all give you the same package, the accommodation, the support, and, and it is British schools. And so with that, I started looking at other schools. And then during that time, Qatar had just won the hosting for the FIFA 2020, and so when I saw an advert for it, and I told my brother, and he goes, "Oh yeah, they've just won the football for the FIFA for the World Cup." And I was like, "Oh right." He goes, "I don't know how they're gonna do it, but yeah, And I was like, "Oh right," but we'd never heard about Qatar before, never ever. But then there were jobs going, and I think I got mine in the Guardian. There were adverts for jobs in the Guardian, and I just decided to go and apply for one. And then got a call back. Got a call back, and then went for the interview, and it was a really good interview.
Yeah.
It was a really good interview, and I was speaking it into being, because I was saying, oh, when I come there, this is what I would do, and so forth and that.
Yes.
So, it was just a great opportunity. And then, finished the interview. And as I was walking to the train station, I got a call to say, we'd like to offer you the job and that. And I just, just burst into tears. I was so happy. But that was the experience. So
that's amazing. I think a lot of people don't think about going to the Guardian.
Right.
I think like when, we get people saying, how did you manage to get a job in Qatar? It's like, you've got to look on tests, contact a few agencies. It's not that straightforward. A lot of people do struggle to find the right jobs and the right schools.
Yeah.
You've got to do your research, because not all schools are good. So there's a lot of things to consider. But I think to land your first international job in a really good school, I think is an absolute blessing.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing. I mean, when I got here and saw it and thought, this is amazing.
And then 10 years later,
God.
forward on 10 years. And then obviously me coming out here through you, and now it's been 6 years for me, and my original plan was 2 years. I was so adamant. I didn't even have a cleaner for the first year, because I was like, I'm leaving here soon. I've got 2 years. I want to get comfortable with this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, and then it was like, oh, okay, I might as well stay here now. And then it was no reason to go back. So for me, it was kind of like, for me, it's like stay. And it's been 6 years, and it goes so quickly. How has your life changed since moving to Qatar?
I mean, my eyes have been opened to just a new culture, a way of living, just the hospitality of the Arab culture. They really look after you. I mean, you go into shops and, tell you to sit down and they're going to give you a cup of tea and things like that. Or would you like water?
Yeah.
And, it's just welcome. And it's so nice. It's so nice to talk to people from different cultures. Because, when you're in the UK, you kind of just stick with your own. But you're coming over here and meeting people from Nepal and the Philippines and Jordan and Qatar and other places, and then meeting people from Kenya and Ghana and from the States. It's really broadened my horizons. I'm not so guarded as I was in the UK. In the UK, you have your phone number and you don't really give it out to people. Over here, everybody shares their number. Yeah, give me a call. Let's meet up. Let's hook up. You can meet someone, from brunch, and then next minute you're texting and let's meet up next week and have a coffee and talk.
And I think you have to be like that here because you're away from your family and your friends. So that's how you have to network, because everybody's in the same boat. You've introduced me to so many different people. So that's really helped as well. But then you build up relationships with people and they leave. And
it's really transient. Yeah, it definitely is. And I think that's what, you have to be prepared for. People will leave, people will finish their contracts, or, or maybe get fed up or miss their families as well. And maybe are not as content at being on their own, but feeling lonely. So, it happens. I mean, in the first 2 years, 2 of my closest companions and friends, they left, and I thought, how am I going to manage? But I knew that I have a personality where I can meet other people, and I'm happy to meet other people, and it's been a really good experience, and that just endeavouring to keep in touch with everybody. But it's been fun. I've just learned so much. I've been able to go abroad, and visit different countries that I know that I would never get to visit because of how far they are from the UK and the amount of money, and because in the UK you just couldn't afford with what you were working with, you just couldn't afford to live and have your house or rent or whatever it is and travel to the Far East. Whereas here you have a great opportunity because you have your accommodation paid for and that. And so you are more so that's why they call it the Middle East. You're more so in the middle, so you can travel either way, and I've learnt so much, and that. So
it's just nice though, because when we have our half terms, it's like the conversation usually amongst teachers is like, where are you going this break? Because everyone travels, and you become quite spoilt with it, especially if you get like a travel allowance as well. So it's kind of like literally looking at a map and saying where to next. If you do have the funds and extra resources to do that. But obviously some people come here and they've got a plan. They know what they want to do with them extra money. But if traveling is something that you really want to do, being in the Middle East is the best location for you to do that.
Definitely.
For me, going to Petra, it was never something I actually saw myself doing.
Right.
So when it actually became a reality, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to Jordan. I'm going to Petra. Even going out to Zanzibar and then now going to Thailand, it's like, wow, I would never have done these things if I was in the UK. Because I just didn't have the extra, funds to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's brilliant that we're able to have those conversations, because when we were in the UK and when we were in London, and I remember hearing other teachers saying, I'm a half term, I'm going here and here. And we were like, we have to stay here because we can't afford going anywhere. But now it's like, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going to go? Where are we going? And then it's brilliant. And there's a lot of times that a lot of us just meet up because we're all going to the same place, and that happened last year. Exactly. Last year when we went to Zanzibar, there's quite a few people that went to Zanzibar as well.
It was lovely.
And we were able to meet up with them. So
it was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic experience. It really
was.
Okay, so obviously being here, there's a lot of free time. So obviously we do start work a little bit earlier, a lot earlier. But in saying that, our day finishes quicker. So my question to you is, what do you do with your free time? How is that different?
So I mean, again, like with the finances, I was able to put myself through, do quite a few courses. So I was also able to go and do a master's, pay for myself to go and do a master's in fine art. I mean, I continue with my practice by drawing. I draw literally every day, and that teach myself new tricks. So taught myself digital art. But I draw for people, designed and helped design and work on my website. I apply for open calls to exhibit my work as well. So yeah, that's what a lot of the stuff that I do. I also work with my family, and we will all have our own projects and that. So I consult with them, they consult with me. I do illustrations for them, designs for their projects as well. So I've got that I do. So it's in the evenings, it's quite a bit of work that I do, and I'm happy to do, and quite a few projects that I have, and projects with my cousins and illustrations for poems and stories and pieces. So there's quite a bit that I do.
And you've had your work exhibited here in Qatar as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had my work exhibited in 3 places. So one was in Al Faldan business place, and in Doha fire station, and then as well in just outside of Dukan as well. So that was a really good experience. It was nice to meet other artists and keep friends with them. So that's been really
amazing.
good. Yeah,
absolutely amazing. I think again that is the best thing about working outside of the UK, because when you come home from teaching in the UK, you want to go home and sleep. You have no energy to do anything else. Here you do get tired. I'm not going to say that you're not tired. You do get tired here. But you know that over the weekends that you can make up for that by going to a brunch or just going for a really nice cheap meal in a really nice hotel. There's good deals here. You know, you definitely have a better lifestyle here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even if you don't want to do anything like that, just going for a walk along the Corniche or going to the beach or just spending a day in a hotel, there's so much you can do that's not going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mentally, your well-being, it's just, you can't even compare it to the UK.
Yeah, it's much better, and for the fact that we have really good weather.
Yeah.
Literally all year round. I mean, our winters are 14 and 15 degrees for us. That's been here. It's a bit cold for us. But for people that come over, they'll be wearing t-shirts.
Yeah, and wear like hoodie jumpers. You can see people wearing coats and air masks, and you're like, right, you're doing the most now. But you do feel the difference because like now we're going into the summer and the temperatures are rising 47 and it will go into the 50s once we're away in August. So you do get accustomed to the weather, so you do feel the winters, you do.
Yeah,
and when it rains here, it's bad. Yeah, but it will last like maybe a day or two.
Yeah, literally, when it rains, everybody's like, no, not going out. No, not going out.
Floodings, all sorts. So it's very different when it rains. Very different. Okay, so being here, we've got loads of people that ask us about moving out, and a lot of people are scared to do it. I was scared, even though I knew that it was the right thing for me, because what I actually did was I travelled in 2018 to visit you.
Yeah.
That gave me an opportunity to see if I really like Qatar or not. I got an opportunity to go into the school and look at the accommodation, and then had my interview the week after. I would advise anyone that does come out here to come out first if it's feasible. But if it's not, I guarantee people that it's the right place to come to anyway, regardless. And I think once you do your first expat experience, I think you can go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can go absolutely anywhere because you build that resilience and that independence. So what advice would you give somebody who's thinking about coming out anywhere in the world to work?
I mean, especially for us as Caribbean, African Caribbean people, we've got to think about the fact that our parents did it. And I was really scared when I was applying for these jobs. I was scared. But something that my parents were saying is, remember, we did it and we were half the age that you were. You know, my parents came out. My dad came out at 19 to the UK. You know, traveling on a boat for, 2 weeks or something like that. My mum came out when she was 20. If it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. Leave, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But try it. Don't be. You can be afraid, feel the fear, but do it anyway. Try it out and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, that's fine. Maybe it's not for you yet. Because remember the situation with you had applied the year before.
Yeah.
And unfortunately the CV didn't get to the school.
Yeah.
For one reason or another, and it wasn't the right time for you.
Yeah.
The next year it was just like butter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was so quick,
easy.
so easy.
Yeah.
So I would advise people to try it out.
Yeah.
And see how it goes. And that if you're brave, just go. If you want to try before, if you can afford it, try and visit the country before.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like things like, if it's Thailand or Malaysia or places like that, it's quite far. Maybe research on YouTube, on Facebook and Instagram. Just check to see, follow teachers that are of your same nationality, maybe, and see how they've enjoyed the schools. Research a school on YouTube as well, because all the schools are going on YouTube. All of them are going on Facebook. All of them are, and so you'll see what it's like. And that, and especially on YouTube, people are very honest with how they experience it.
Yeah.
And see if that works for you.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
because I think people don't think that they were getting information about the school online through YouTube, but it's definitely another platform that is useful to explore 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you'll get teachers just like ourselves who make videos just to help other people.
Absolutely.
And I think that information is crucial, because making that step, it is a massive step, especially if you have your own home in the UK and you're thinking about, do I rent it out, do I just keep it as a residential so I have a hub to come back to when I travel back. For me, it took me about 2 years before I rented out a room in my house, because I was still feeling like it was home. I was coming home nearly every half term. And everyone was like, why are you coming back already? Because I was trying to I live in both countries. I can do both. And then eventually it's like, right, you're being silly now, because you're restricting yourself from traveling other parts of the world. But I definitely would say that if your goal is to improve your financial situation, I would say rent your house out for a year and to see how it goes. Stack up on your money, and then just stick to your money goals, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is understandable that you've moved to another country and you've got ties back in your home country and you want to travel there, because that's what I did.
Yeah.
The first 2 years there, I was going back every half term. I went back. I got there in September, went straight back in December and April, and June, and then did it again. But I was like,
You got to let go a little bit.
You got to let go. Try somewhere else, and see how that is. Or invite your family to come over.
Yeah.
And that, because sometimes that actually saves money and you still have a good opportunity.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't have a home yet, but I had my family that I was very, very close with.
Yeah.
And so that was really challenging, moving out. But you start to kind of, not necessarily loosen those cords, but there's another way to keep close. And that was, for us, was being on calls.
Thank God for video
like
calls.
At the time it was Skype.
When
I first came out, it was Skype that we were using, and that and keeping in touch with everybody, and WhatsApp. And then the blockade came, and so they stopped. So you have to use VPN to use WhatsApp. And that, but
that did take a little bit getting used to, but once you get your VPN, you can still use the WhatsApp and get your calls, which is interesting because all form of communication for delivery is through WhatsApp. So they still block it. They still put a VPN on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that doesn't make any sense. But obviously in Dubai and other places in the UAE, they don't have that.
Yeah.
So you can just use your WhatsApp calling without the VPN.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly,
So,
in other countries as well, yeah.
So my last question is, what are your plans now? I know. I'm going to share your plans now. What is your plans, the next journey, the next chapter?
Yeah, my next chapter, I have decided that this is my last year at this school. So I've done 10 years. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Because one of the questions that you had asked earlier, what have you gained and that, but I've gained so much financial freedom from being here. I mean, within the first 3 months, I paid off all my bills and I couldn't believe it, and so I've been able to have that financial freedom to look different places and know my worth. And I'm grateful that I got a new job teaching in an international school in Shanghai, in China. And I'm heading out there in August, so I'll go back to the UK first, and then go over to China, and I'll see how it goes. And as I said, if it doesn't work out, I'll leave.
Or you just look on that map and you just pick another
somewhere
location.
else. Exactly. And that, I mean, I know my worth, and I know what I should be getting, and I'm grateful that this school has seen it as well, and seen that she's worth it, and chased me down, and I really do. It made me feel really good. And you don't necessarily put your trust in man, but it's nice to hear that people appreciate you. So I'm heading out there. I'm really looking forward to
They're
that
very
experience.
lucky to gain you.
Thank you.
Those kids are going to be. They're very, very lucky.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
grateful.
a really good experience for you. I think even
so.
for your own practice.
Yes, I think
it's
so
going to
as
be
well.
amazing.
I think so. I mean, I've been researching on YouTube and following quite a few Afro-Caribbean and African-American teachers that are in China, and there is a good community there. And that I know that I'll be able to support students to exhibit their work. And that's one of the callings that called me to the school, because I was told that the kids can exhibit in galleries in the city. So I'm thinking that's amazing. So I'm tenterhooks, but I'm really looking forward to it.
It's exciting.
It is.
Sad to see you go, but I'm more excited for you, because I know that this is a good move for you.
Yeah, thank you.
It really is. It is. I remember you coming to my class and said, right, I've decided. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I can't understand, but, and we've all adjusted to it. But I think it's a fantastic opportunity. Yeah, I think, I'm very, very excited. I feel in my spirit that it's going to be a great new platform for you artistically, for you to explore this part of the world. Yeah. Because it's so different to where we are now.
Very different, completely different. Yeah, completely different to what we're used to. And I know when I've talked to people, they're like, what? It's going to be completely different. I'm like, I know. But Qatar was completely different to what we were used to. And that when we were in the UK, completely different. But, we acclimatized to it really well.
Definitely.
And so the future's bright, and the future's Shanghai.
Yeah, isn't it? The future's Shanghai.
Mega city.
The future's bright, the future's Shanghai. Yes.
Exactly. So, see how that goes.
Bless you. Well, thank you so much for being the first guest, Sorida.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
It's amazing artwork. So if you just want to just shout out your website.
Yeah, so my website is wishartworks.com. This is a piece called She. So it was influenced by Ain't I a Woman, which was a story and a poem by Sojourner Truth, and she was talking about it. Ain't I a woman? Aren't I worth something? And so this piece is called She, which is in relation to hers, and it's kind of a broken up face of a woman, but just looking into the future and seeing what's there for her. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That was one of my first pieces using digital art.
Yeah, wow.
And that, so
great. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate you. All right, stay tuned for the next episode of Crossing Cultures. Thank you for listening. Take care, everyone.